Hello, today we're going to use SketchBook Express for the iPad to draw animal faces using Symmetry mode. But first, let's review the SketchBook Express application icons and their functions. Please say the name of each icon after me. Gallery. Add new sketch. I for information. Undo arrow. Redo arrow. Brush editor. Draw styles. Free draw. Line tool, rectangle tool, circle tool, symmetry, this is symmetry on, symmetry off, text, transform, layers. Today we're going to try to draw some animals using symmetry mode, and then we'll use symmetry mode in conjunction with our draw styles. Let's start with the rabbit. Let's open up and see what we're drawing with today. Everybody try to use the pen tool, which is in the bottom left right here. It gives you a great broad stroke. You might want to check your radius and opacity. Set radius about halfway and set opacity all the way to the right. I'm going to pick black, which is at the bottom of the rhombus, to draw with today. Let's begin. For the first one today, the rabbit, I'm going to use free draw. So make sure you have free draw selected. That's the one that looks like a wavy S turned on its side. I'm going to make sure I have symmetry mode turned on. Thumbs up if you have symmetry mode turned on. All right, then, we're ready to begin. As always, we have to locate where the brush editor is and the puck, this small circular control at the bottom. That will be our line of symmetry, our center line on our rabbit's face. Here we go. Let's do an oval for the head. And the next I'm going to do the nose and the cheeks. Let's add the ears next. Make sure that your lines touch whenever you do a closed shape like the ear. That way we can use fill bucket to fill in the color for the ear. I'm going to get out my eraser and erase just a little bit down here for the rabbit's teeth. And back to the pen tool to do the bunny's teeth. We'll use circle tool to put some eyes on our rabbit. And we'll use line tool to give it a couple of whiskers. And lastly, let's use Fill Bucket to fill the rabbit's eyes, nose, and ears with color. And use Text Tool to type your name. Shift arrow turns blue to give you a capital letter. Shift arrow turns blue to give you a capital letter to start your last name with. You can use Move Text to place it where you want, which is on the bottom right-hand corner of your artwork. And done. You can press plus to save your rabbit. And let's move on and try the lamb. A lamb is a baby sheep. I'm going to use Circle Tool to make the head of my lamb. Keep an eye on Symmetry, where your brush editor is and where your puck is at the bottom, and try to center your circle on that line of symmetry. It usually takes a couple of tries when you're starting with the head, but got to make sure you're on Pen Tool, that your color's black, you have Symmetry turned on, and Circle Tool turned on. I always draw my circles the same way, pulling from left to right, top left to bottom right, every time. That's what makes it easy for me to draw a circle. Practice. If you want to get good at anything, it's important that you practice. We'll switch to Free Draw to do the mouth and the ears. That's a pretty easy animal to draw. The thing that's challenging about this one is using Circle Tool to do one circle for the head to start us off. If you can start by doing one circle for the head, you'll be far more successful. I'm going to use Text Tool to type my name, move it into place. Done. I'm going to save my lamb and move on. I brought some other animals for us to try today. The next two are right here. We're going to try a chicken and a puppy. I'm going to do the chicken next, very much like we did the lamb. I'm going to use Circle Tool, make sure I have Pen Tool on black, and Symmetry turned on. And for my chicken, let's begin with the head. Circle Tool for the head. Now I want to make a perfect circle this time. Last time it was more of an oval. Boy, I did that exactly right. My two circles, because I have Symmetry turned on, I'm drawing two circles, but my two circles look like one. Then two circle eyes. Line Tool will let us make that triangle beak. Let's use and Free Draw with Pen Tool to draw some hair for our bird. Now here's where I'm going to make some changes from the example animal. I'm going to do symmetrical hair, because in the example we're looking at, our chicken does not have symmetrical hair. It has asymmetrical hair. Its hairstyle is not symmetrical. So that's one way you can do it if you want to use Symmetry the whole time. The other thing you can do is, for just this part, turn Symmetry off so that you can try to create something that looks exactly like our example picture. It's up to you. The choice is yours. That's pretty close to our example picture. So that's what it would look like with Symmetry turned off. Notice I cannot draw a line down the middle, fold it in half, and have the two sides be equal. Let me use Text Tool to place my name on my artwork. Done, plus, and save it. My next animal is my puppy dog. For the puppy, I'm going to use Circle Tool. Make sure I have Pen Tool turned on with Circle Tool and Symmetry back on. I'm going to use Circle Tool to make one oval for the head. Now, I don't think this one's going to turn out very good, but it did. Practice, practice, practice. That's how you can make two circles look like one. Now, let's switch over to Free Draw. Do the rest of our dog's head. I'm going to do the cheeks and the nose, which looks a lot like a triangle. And he has a little tongue hanging out. And for the ears, some oval shapes like this. Let's use Fill Bucket to fill our ears, our eyes, our nose, and our mouth. Again, Symmetry tool won't work for us when we're using Fill Bucket. That's where it takes an artist to make sure you're filling the same color on both sides. Done. Plus, save it. And our last two animals today. Look like this. A cat and a mouse. These are really fun. We're going to use Circle Tool and Line Tool for these animals. Let's begin. Let's make sure we have Pen Tool turned on black, and use Circle Tool. We're going to start with the cat. We need an oval for the head. We're going to draw two ovals and make them look like one. Now, I didn't do so well that time. I can clearly see that's two ovals. So I'm going to press Undo Arrow and try again. That's what I want. Two circles that look like one. Next, I'm going to do two circles for the eyes of our cat. And now, we're going to use Line Tool to do the ears, the mouth, the nose, the whiskers. Here are our ears with a triangle area inside of them. Here's our nose. It's going to look like a triangle as well. If your nose doesn't touch, you can just tap Undo Arrow and try it again. That one went too far. It takes practice to find out exactly where that line of symmetry is going to be without knowing where it is before you draw it. And we'll use Fill Bucket to fill up our nose, our eyes, and our ears with color. Use Text Tool to place your name on your artwork. And we're done with our cat. Plus, to save it, the last drawing of the day is going to be our mouse. I'm going to start by using the Circle Tool to draw ears for our mouse. Pen Tool, Circle Tool, Symmetry on. The reason I'm starting with the ears is that the face is in front of the ears. And they touch. Mine are almost touching. I'm pretty pleased with that. And the second circle lives right inside of the first circle. That's going to take a little practice to put it exactly where I want it. Here's where you can practice drawing your circles the same way every time, like I was describing. I'm pleased with those. Now let's use Line Tool to draw the head of our mouse. Once I have the lines in place, I can come back and erase the parts that I don't need of those triangle ears. Very good. I'm pleased with that. Let me go ahead and get my eraser out. I use Eraser B because it has a nice hard line. Eraser A is a little bit fuzzier. Eraser B is on the second row, and I think you'll find it gives you better results for a project like this. We'll switch over to Free Draw for our eraser. And when you're erasing, don't leave your stylus down the whole time. If you erase too much, it's easy to erase just a little bit. Pick up your stylus and erase a little bit more. That keeps you from erasing too much. Like I erased too much right there. Took some of the line of the face, and I don't want to do that. Let me go back to Pen Tool, and let me get out my Circle Tool so I can add some eyes on our mouse. There are our eyes, and last, the whiskers. Again, using Line Tool. Let's use Fill Bucket to fill our ears and our eyes with color. Use Text Tool to to place your name on your artwork. Done.